I'm Tania Gustafson, award-winning nutritionist, behavior specialist, and certified mental wellness coach on a mission to help midlife women move from barely surviving to thriving. You have been lied to. Weight gain, mood swings, hot flashes, brain fog, despite what the world and even your doctor may have told you, do not have to be your story. You are not broken. You've just never been shown how to fuel your body in a way that creates hormonal balance. Fit Woman Podcast is where we expose the lies and share all things to help women take back control of their health, hormones, weight, and mental wellness and thrive through midlife. I'm so glad you're here. Hello and welcome to the Fit Woman Podcast, where we explore all things to help women fuel their bodies, ignite their metabolism and their minds to thrive through midlife. I am your host, Tania Gustafson, and today my guest and longtime friend is a true powerhouse in the world of fitness and health, Stephanie Sharp Ward. So Coach Steph is a realtor turned certified professional trainer, personal trainer, health coach, nutritionist, and founder of Train Strong Fit. So she's 55, although she doesn't even look anywhere close to that, a wife and a mom, and she's turned her obsession into her profession. For over the last 17 years, it's been her mission to help change people's lives through fitness and nutrition. So welcome, Coach Steph. So great to have you on the show.
Hey, Tania, thank you so much for having me. I love that you're doing this and I love being a part of it. So thanks so much for having me on. I can't wait to see what we come up with.
Oh, you're so welcome. I just had to have you on for sure. You're such a wealth of knowledge. So, okay, you are a realtor and you turned into a fitness professional. How does that even happen? I got to start with that. How does that happen?
Yeah. So through a personal journey, right? I have not been the person that was always athletic. I didn't play sports in high school. I rode horses and did dance. I wasn't a team player. But I fell into real estate as a career because I love serving people. I love all people. I love working with people and helping them. And so I've actually been a realtor and still am for 33 years. But through that process, there have been some ups and downs. We've had some issues with the market. And in 2007, 8, and 9, we in the United States, we had a major crash.
Oh, yeah, we had it up here too.
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. It was so bad. And of course, I was in real estate. My husband was in construction. So it hit us both really hard. He also had to have some back surgeries, which put him out of work. And so I jumped into another profession. I took another job to earn some extra income for our family. I also do some bookkeeping. So that led me to physical fitness. So through the bookkeeping job, it was very high stress. I went from an active lifestyle to sitting, staring at a computer screen, lots and lots of high stress, and leaving my family. It was a very tough time in my life. And we were blessed that I had the opportunity to kind of fill in the gaps when my husband couldn't. But through that process, I put on about 25 pounds in a year.
Oh, wow.
And that was very foreign to me. Like all women, we have our little fluctuations, but that was a big deal. And I saw a picture of myself and I thought, oh my goodness, is that what I really look like? I didn't feel comfortable, but when I saw that picture, I thought, wow, that's not me. So I had not been able to really exercise much in a year. So a friend of mine challenged me to a competition, like a fitness competition program. So we signed up for it. We did it, and it was life-changing. I had results pretty quickly, but I learned all of the benefits of proper nutrition, balanced nutrition, and how to move your body in a purposeful way, including strength training. And it literally changed my life in every way. Not only did I lose weight and feel better, but I got stronger. I developed muscles. I had definition that I had never had before. My confidence shot through the roof. My energy went through the roof. I was bouncing off the walls. My attitude changed. It affected me in so many positive ways that people were following my journey and they wanted to know why. What is happening to me? You're shrinking, but you're growing bigger and bigger. You're back to the Stephanie that we all knew, the high energy person. And so, when you're passionate about something, I fell in love. And my trainer said, you should go into training other clients. And I said, I'm 41. So that's just silly. And he's like, why is it silly? You're amazing at this. So he was right. Within a year, I had my certified personal trainer um, status, and I started picking up some part-time classes, left the other job, and went into training full time. And then in 2014, so this was in 2010,
Okay.
became business partners with him. And then in 2014, decided it was time to do my own thing and started my own gym. So that's a long-winded answer to your question, but it was a life change. My own personal journey led me to this place. And for the last 16 years, I have been able to bless other people by helping them learn about fitness and nutrition. And by the way, that was a typo that I sent you. I'm 58.
Okay. But you don't look anywhere near any of the 50s. Like
Right?
none of
Thank you.
it. You're welcome. But that's what happens, when you take care of
It does.
the inside, right? Just happier people, healthier people, they look younger because you're aging slower. Like
Correct.
scientifically, it's proven. Like we're aging slower. So if you're aging slower, you clearly don't look your age. That's just the way it works.
Amen. Amen.
Amen
That's
to
what we're
that.
doing.
I'm bringing on more of that, right?
Reverse aging, if that's a
Reverse.
possibility.
Absolutely. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I love what your trainer said. That you said, well, I'm 41. How can I do that? And he's like, well, who cares? Like, what do you mean you're 41? Why not? You're good at it. That's the whole point, I think, is
It
women
is.
are sometimes holding themselves back from things because it's the whole age thing.
Yes,
I can't
I
do
agree.
that, or I shouldn't do that at this age. At this age, we need to get rid of that phrase.
Absolutely. And we need to be willing to challenge ourselves. To
Yes.
me, what I did was getting out of my comfort zone. I had always done what a lot of the 80s kids did, which was, cardio, walking, jogging, and those kinds of things. And I biked and I hiked and I loved all those things, but I had never done strength training before.
Yeah.
And for me, that was life changing. And for my clients since then, for the last 16 years, the strength training portion has been life changing. And it's absolutely critical
So
to be doing this as we age.
yeah. So why though? What's the big deal? Like you see that a lot around.
Hmm.
Like look at a fitness reel. Someone's always talking about women need to build some muscle, strength training, which is good. I'm all for that. So what did you find why is that so important for women?
I think it's important because, naturally our bodies are designed to start to slow down
Yeah.
as we age, right? That's the way that we were created. But we can sort of stop or slow that process down and even reverse it. The reason that strength training is so critical, it helps you preserve your muscle mass, which we start to lose after the age of 30, 35, men and women.
Yeah.
It helps strengthen your bones. It helps increase your metabolism. It helps improve your balance and your core
Mhm.
strength. It helps enhance your mental health, as I discussed before.
Right.
That is a huge thing. It's a kind of a joke we say at the gym. I'm here for my workout and my therapy session. It's so freeing and so strengthening. Strengthening. It helps you to strengthen all aspects of your body, not just muscles, right? So that's why it's really critical. And we start to lose those things. So it's more important that we protect them with strength training at least 3 times a week for women and for men in purposeful ways. And we can talk about that a little more too.
Right. No, absolutely. And so why 3 to 4 times a week? Like why that number?
So, a lot of us grew up in the era where women were just supposed to do a lot of cardio and try to
Mhm.
stay thin. And
Yes.
I think that the world now is evolving because we have so much more information, better information. It is accessible anywhere and everywhere. Sometimes there's almost too much information because you don't know exactly who's got it right. But I follow many, many doctors who specialize in this, and they're excellent resources. Dr. Stacy Sims, Dr. Vonda Wright, Dr.
Amazing.
Marie Claire. She's amazing.
Yep.
So all three of these doctors are where I gather a lot of my information from because I am not a doctor, but
Right.
I have also lived it, coached it, and taught it.
Mhm.
And so, 3 times a week, it just ensures that you are able to strengthen your body, give it a break, right? We don't necessarily want you to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and not strength train. Give a day or so in between each. And weight bearing strength training is really critical. And then as we age, or get through, let's talk about menopause maybe for a minute.
Yeah.
It's even more critical. And there's certain ways to do it, and certain ways that can actually be harmful and cause extra stress and cortisol levels to rise. So you want strength training, and then you want some aerobic type stuff. Walking is fantastic.
Walking is great.
Walking
Love it.
every day.
So what are those
and
exercises
then some high
that
intensity interval.
Pardon me, say that again?
High intensity interval training is good to throw in too.
Right.
But not every day.
Right. Okay. So let's touch on that. That's what I was going to get to. So what are the things that maybe women are doing that they shouldn't be doing, or maybe they're doing too much of something?
Yes. Because you can overstress your body.
You can.
With doing high intensity interval training. So, and I don't want to single out any type of discipline, but like there are boot camps out there, right? And a lot of women have found these boot camps to be highly motivating and successful. They feel like they can get good results. And I've done boot camps in the past. That's kind of where I started. But too much of that, people tend to overdo that. And then it can have an opposite effect. And people will start to regress, or their bodies will start to break down.
Yeah.
Because they're having too much of an impact on their body physically, and it can have a negative effect. So it's best to have a balance of both, right?
Yeah.
Balance.
Absolutely. And I think that's super important. So what would if you're running a client through, what would their week look like? So with types of exercise for the week?
Mm-hmm. So when I'm training clients, whether it's the programming for our small group personal training classes, or if I'm working with a person one-on-one personal training,
right.
Typically I recommend people start with full body strength training. So strength training can be weight bearing, it can be weight resistance training, it can be just body weight.
Right.
Compound exercises are always going to be better, where you're combining different exercises into one. Everybody's heard about planks and push-ups and squats, right? Those are great body weight exercises that you can do anywhere, any place. But I typically will program, working with major muscle groups, compound exercises, pairing them together. And we're going to do that, say, every other day for 3 or potentially 4 times a week. You should work in a rest day where you're just doing what we call active rest, maybe walking, jogging, cycling, hiking, those kinds of things. And then you could do a high intensity interval training day in between the strength days.
Right. Okay. So then that gives you a nice balance. Because we definitely need the strength. For sure.
Absolutely.
And so you said what are the specific types of training more beneficial pre or post menopause, like for strength training?
So personally, weight training, I think, is something that every woman needs to learn. And there are lots of opportunities to do this. You can do this in a commercial gym. You can do this. You can look up things on YouTube. You can follow athletes and influencers and doctors and stuff on all of the social media. There's a lot to tap into out there. But from what I've read and the research that I've done, lifting a little heavier, but for lesser or shorter duration, lesser reps or shorter duration, is more impactful for a menopausal woman, let's say.
Okay.
Excuse me one sec.
Okay. Oh,
sorry.
Frog.
I get excited and then I talk too fast.
It's okay.
And then I choke myself up. So a little bit heavier, lifting a little heavier. For example, if you have been used to doing squats or push-ups or planks, you might try to add some weight to that. Maybe you start with resistance bands, or you can increase your weight.
Right.
The key, I think, to this is finding a program that appeals to you, that you try, that you like, that you feel comfortable with, something that resonates with you. Because if you go and try something and you don't look forward to going to it the next day, then you've probably learned enough about that to know that maybe that's not something that you're going to stick with and be consistent with.
Right. I don't think
so. A lot of times it's finding what works for you.
Yeah. If it doesn't light you up, you're not going to go back.
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
a lot of women work out at home. They'll work out in commercial gyms if they have the knowledge to teach themselves or to, program stuff for themselves. They might follow something that somebody else has designed and they just go and do it. If you are self-motivated and dedicated enough to do that, that's amazing. But some of us, and I'm referring to myself here, of course I will and I can, but I absolutely love the team training aspect.
Okay.
I love attending my own classes at my own gym. I started this program because I love that. So find what works for you. There's strength in numbers. Sometimes it's great to, it might be everything you can do to get in the door of that place. It has been that day and you don't even want to go anywhere. You want to curl up into a little ball and see what happens tomorrow. But
Yeah.
if you can get yourself to that place, whether it's the gym in your house, the gym, or a studio, once you start, everything changes. And so I say, try a few things, find what seems to work for
Yeah.
you, and then give yourself permission to do it
Yeah.
and schedule that time with yourself and make it non-negotiable.
I love that because we as women don't tend to schedule ourselves in. We say, "Oh, I have some time later, so I'll do it."
Right.
Later never shows up on the watch, right? Like
Exactly right.
there's nothing,
It doesn't,
right?
because something else will fill in that time gap.
Yeah, there's
And
the
then before you
husband, the
know it,
kids, the neighbor, the dog. I don't
mm-hmm,
know, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, it's 9 p.m. and I didn't do it." And
right.
right? And then the other
Yes.
thing, so yeah, giving women permission to do that. Thank you for saying that because we all need to just schedule that in. We would schedule a doctor's appointment, we would schedule a dentist appointment, and when we schedule, we're integral and we show up.
Right.
So
Exactly.
schedule the time for yourself. And I think there's a couple of myths out there that you have to dedicate like an hour every time you go to the gym, or you have to have this big block of time.
Absolutely not. You
Okay,
don't.
good.
You don't. There's no magic number other than the number zero, right? If you don't get your workout in, okay, well,
Right,
definitely haven't hit the magic number.
right,
You can say, people say everything. 30 minutes is all you need. People say 15 minutes is all you need. An hour minimum, right?
right.
Whenever you're moving, whenever you can move your body, even if you have to break it down into 3 10-minute increments in a day, that's still better than the zero.
Absolutely.
So, you can also find what works for you. Some people love the little 20-minute, blasts. If they're intentional about it, they're working the whole time, keeping good form, moving their bodies. That's an amazing thing. So other people prefer to work out for longer periods of time, but there is not a magic set amount of time. What I will say is when you're doing strength training, as you age, it is more important to take a little bit longer rests in between your heavier lifts. If you're doing
Mhm.
heavy lifts, to allow your body to rest. So a lot of these places, they do the high intensity interval training combined with the strength training, which we do.
Right. Hmm.
But if you don't take enough rest in between, then you start to overstress your body.
Right.
And that can lead to negative impact, but also injury, right?
Yeah.
And just, fatigue. And we're looking for the opposite. We want this to energize us and
Right.
strengthen us.
Yes. You don't want to feel like you got hit by a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Absolutely.
So the other myth out there, and I saw you post on that. I think that was today or yesterday you posted about being bulky.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yes.
years my mom said, "Aren't you worried about lifting weights? You're going to look like some big guy, some big bulky
Mm-hmm.
guy." And at this point, I had been lifting for I don't know, probably 10 years at this point. But for whatever reason, she must have heard something and now it dawned on her. And I said, "Mom, how long have I been doing this?" "Oh, yeah, a long time." I said, "Am I bulky?" "Well, no." And then she was trying to rationalize that in her head. And so
Right.
just speak to that if you would, because that's just a huge thing for a lot of women. They're like, "If I go to that gym, I'm going to look like Arnold in a week."
Yeah.
It's not going to
I
happen.
know. And, I understand that. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I used to subscribe to that because I didn't understand how strength training worked. But it is impossible to become bulky for a woman who strength trains unless she is specifically training for that purpose
Yeah.
and
And probably
supplementing and eating.
supplementing with some sort
Yes.
of
Right. And
steroids or something.
supplementing and eating with that purpose, right?
Right.
So what happens in our bodies, and I just always use my hands as a little diagram so to make people understand. So take, for example, this is 5 pounds of fat. Okay, it
Yep.
takes up this much space. 5 pounds of muscle takes up about this much space. So what happens is when you're strength training, you're adding muscle to your body starts to shrink, right? And so you can actually weigh the same or even more, but your body shrinks. It's not going in the opposite direction. It's not getting bulky unless you're intending to do that. So it's a myth that needs to die. It's been a long, slow, painful death, but it just needs to die because it just really isn't true. And what women want nowadays, we hope we're educating women to not want to be skinny,
Yeah.
right? We want them to be fit. And part of that is being able to, maybe see some definition,
Yeah.
to lean out, if you will, right? So you become leaner as you're shedding a little bit of fat, you're gaining muscle. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn just walking around or even sleeping. And so your body can become leaner and more defined. And that's typically what we're looking for. So it's really the opposite. Strength training
Absolutely.
has the opposite effect of making women bulky.
And you can, as you said, burn some more fat while you're sleeping. So who doesn't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that, right? If you're
Yeah.
up for that, right?
Sign
If
me
you're
up.
all up for that, you
Yeah.
need to get some strength training into your life. If you don't have it in there, you need to get it in there. And so
Yes.
so what's unique about the way you coach people out there? Because I know that you don't just train people for fitness. Like it's not just about exercise. You incorporate nutrition and all the other things in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So give me a little snapshot of that.
Well, it's really you have to have the whole package.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, well, if I just go to the gym 5 days a week, then I'm going to get to my ideal weight. That's mistake number one, is always just trying to have a weight goal. But you can't out-train a bad diet. So if you're not fueling your body, and that's the term I like to use, if you're not fueling your body with the right nutrition, then your body isn't going to respond the way you want it to. And people come to me and say, oh my gosh, but I don't want to give up my nighttime bowl of ice cream, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. And I said, well, doesn't mean that you have to give it up forever, but everything in moderation. We need to focus on balanced nutrition. I coach like you, blood sugar balanced nutrition. Once people understand it and learn it, it's a very simple. But if you're not, if you go out to eat at Hardee's every night, but then you go to the gym and work out for an hour, those two things are not going to offset each other.
They're
They're really
not.
not. So,
No.
so people that truly want to see a transformation,
Mm-hmm.
they've got to work on both aspects. They've got to fuel their body properly, put in good, clean foods in the right quantities at the right time, in the right portions and the right balance, and then move their bodies. And honestly,
Mm-hmm.
the gym is, I can make somebody feel better, have better cardiovascular health, they can be stronger. But if they really want to change their physique, they have to do the work in the kitchen too.
Yes, you do need to do that. So how about then kitchen? Some people who work out first thing in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked to somebody about this yesterday at the gym. They are not eating before they come to the gym. And they're not eating till maybe noon
Oh my goodness,
or
yes.
10. So speak to that because I know that there's a lot of women, especially out there, that we've been taught, we just need to eat less and work out more. And fasting is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is that doing when we're exercising?
Yeah, it's slowing us down.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't start our day and break the fast, the word breakfast, if we don't break the fast that we've had all night because we've been sleeping, then our metabolism does not kick in. It says, oh, okay, we're starving, so we're just gonna hold on to all this excess fat that we've got in our body. We're just gonna hold on to it in case we need it because we're not being fed. And so, a lot of people, I used to use this excuse all the time. I don't feel hungry when I wake up. I don't really want to eat until 10 or 11. Well, some of that is conditioning. Some of that is because I would get up and just guzzle a cup of coffee
Yeah.
on my way to wherever I was going. But there is that misconception, fasting for perimenopausal and postmenopausal women is actually been proven not to be effective. It's counterproductive. Fueling our bodies properly throughout the day is important. Eating when you first wake up, within an hour of waking, for sure, if you can, even if it's just a little bit of something that's balanced. But you should not go to the gym and work out on an empty stomach. Your tank is empty. It's like trying to drive your car without gas.
Oh, exactly.
You're not going to get but so far. No. And even if you feel like you can, your body inside, it's still not going to respond the way that you want it to. So, we coach smaller meals, often throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So you might be fueling your body 5-6 times a day, even 7, depending upon how long your days are.
Right.
But we always tell people, do not come to the gym on an empty stomach. Make sure you have eaten something, and you've had at least a glass of water before you come into. We need to be hydrated as well.
Hydration is important. So, what about the person who's showing up eating the banana?
Yeah, so that happens
because they want
sometimes.
That spike, right? They want that energized and the sugar in the banana, right?
Right, exactly. And then halfway through, they're going to start tanking. They're going to start feeling funny. They're going to be shaking, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong, but I don't feel like I continue." And it's because they have had that glucose spike, that sugar spike from the banana. So I tell people, if you want to have a banana, what I'd like for you to do is bring half of the banana in, have a handful of nuts with it, maybe drink half a protein shake. You've got to have some protein, a little bit of fat, and then your carbohydrates for your energy. Those are all important parts of our body. We need all 3. Then finish up your workout, and on the way home, drink the rest of your shake, eat the other half of your banana, and you're good to go. And then within an hour, you should be having your breakfast, your real breakfast. Or as I call it, my second breakfast.
Your second breakfast. We're both hobbits. We have a second breakfast, right?
Yes,
but it's
absolutely.
Because they're burning off what they've put, like burning it off because they've just done instantly. The workout.
Yes.
Because there's not enough there.
Post-workout meal or protein shake or whatever it is, that's going to be consumed really quickly to help your body recover, help those muscles recover. And so it doesn't really count as a meal. But it is something that's important to get in right after your workout too. Within an hour of your workout, you should be having a really good source of digestible protein, fats, and carbs.
Right. No, nicely put. Nicely put. I love that. So what's something, do you coach mostly women or men, or do you have a combination of both?
In our gym, I coach both.
Both. Okay.
So I would say we are probably at this point 70-30. So 70% women, 30% men.
Okay.
We have a very large dynamic. I would say that the average age range probably, though, is 40 to 55.
So the midlife.
Yeah. We've got plenty of 20 and 30 somethings.
Okay.
We've got some 70s, and even my mother trains at my gym
in
our low impact class, and she just turned 80. She works out Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Way to go, Mom. I love that.
I know. And you would never, ever, ever look at my mom and think she was 80.
No, I've seen pictures of your mom. I was like, when you said she was 80, I'm like, that's the same picture I saw.
She's amazing. She's amazing. I aspire to be like her when I'm 80. But sure I have a special, passion for somebody like me, right? I'm a 58-year-old, 8 years postmenopausal woman, and things have changed, and so we have to adapt with this. But we can learn, and we can incorporate different things that really, really make a difference.
Yeah,
and that's what I love.
That's cool. That's good. What do most women struggle with when they come to you? Like, obviously, I think most women hit the gym because they have weight to lose. Mm-hmm. Or they feel that that's their first go-to, right? But yes. What is the underlying part of that struggle? Because it's rarely just about, I need to lose 10 pounds.
I think a lot of it, especially for women in my age group or in my dynamic, their bodies are changing as they are aging, and they don't know what to do anymore because the things that they used to do in their 20s and 30s don't work.
Right.
There's a lot of information out there, and they don't know where to start. So they're doing the right thing by seeking out a professional who can help. But I think it's just not knowing exactly how to handle our bodies at that age. And excuse me, there I go again.
That's okay.
I think the struggle is Sorry, Tanya. I've been fighting allergies for a week.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
No worries.
I think that the struggle with women is just not knowing what to do, where to do it, how to do it. And so they're seeking out a program that they know is going to work for you, work for
Hmm.
them. Sorry. Um, and I also think so. We get a lot of referrals, which I think is really
Oh,
fun because, somebody will come in, really see a big difference, and then they'll share that with other people. I think women are done with the whole you think you do you and I'm just going to be over here doing me. I think we've become this really cool community where we're sharing information, we're sharing
yeah.
things that are working for us, and I think that's really empowering. I think there's an awakening that we can't just sit around and starve ourselves and do incessant cardio and be happy and healthy. I think
Yeah.
women want to be happy and healthy, and they also want to be able to like be there for their grandkids. They want to be able to be strong, and we're all living longer, and
Yes.
so we have to adapt. So I think it's a lot of things, but it's powerful to see women come in and take control of their lives at this stage,
So you
and
think
then
that's a
really,
shift? Like, is that sort of shifting and
mhm.
that it's happening more and more?
Yes, that's
I
that's
love
what I
that.
see.
I
And
love
some
that.
of it is age related too.
Hmm.
A lot of times it's when you have young children, that can be hard. Although I have a lot of young moms that, they're like, well, I don't want to. I just had a baby and I want to be able to stay strong because I want to have two more babies and I want to take care of this baby and the family that I have and keep working. And so I think just, the mindset of women has changed a lot and for the better,
That's awesome.
for the
I love
better.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. So what is the one, what's one nugget of wisdom from Coach Steph that you would give to women right now?
I would say hands down, nutrition is really critical and important. Don't fall for the fads and the diets. They're exactly that. They're fads and their diets. They're temporary and they give you temporary results. Seek out a professional who can help you with your nutrition. And then if you are not doing strength training, and I'll take a bigger leap and say weight bearing strength training. If you
Yes.
are not doing that yet, you need to. You need to seek it out somewhere, somehow, from someone, some facility, and start incorporating that into your life. So clean up your nutrition, learn a little bit more, educate yourself. Don't just follow the fads and the trends and the influencers because a lot of them are out there just selling products and making money. Not saying you shouldn't follow them, but trust where you get your information
Right? Yes, for sure.
and incorporate weighted strength training.
That's excellent
Our bodies
advice.
need it.
They
Yeah.
do. They really do. I love that. I love that you said that. That's awesome. So where can people find you? If they want to follow you, connect with you, where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Yeah. So Facebook is Coach Steph Ward.
Okay.
So it's Facebook, blah, 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 / Coach Steph Ward.
Right?
It is at Coach Steph Ward on Instagram.
Okay.
And
And we'll
then
put
my
it in the show notes.
website is coachstephward.com. So
There
we're
we
pretty
go.
consistent.
Awesome. I love that. Well, we'll
Yeah.
put them all in the show notes as well too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on today. I loved this is one of my passions too, is strength training. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's just
Yeah,
really great to have someone who owns a gym, runs a gym, and had their life changed by it to come and
absolutely.
speak on all of that because I think that's just so important for women to know that it's not just about, oh, I just need to do this because they say it's healthy. I just need to do it. It's really so much more than that. And that's what you illustrated today, and I love that.
It
So
is.
thanks.
Thank you so much more than that. And it's never too late. Never, ever
Never.
too late to start.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you could make the time. It was a pleasure chatting with you always.